Is your metabolism slowing down? Especially if you're a woman in her 40s, maybe you've noticed that certain things don't quite happen the way that they used to or as easily as they used to, especially when you're thinking about when you're in your 20s, maybe early 30s. Let's talk about that today. So first, let's clear something up. When most women tell me my metabolism has slowed down and this is making it really hard for me to lose weight, they actually don't mean metabolism in the technical sense of the word. What they usually mean is I can't quite lose weight as quickly as I want to. Or I wish that I could eat absolutely anything I want and still be able to get away with it. Sometimes they mean I gain weight so quickly these days. I get it. But let's talk about what metabolism actually is and what's really going on. Metabolism is the process by which your body converts everything that you eat and drink into energy. It includes all of the chemical reactions happening in your body that keep you alive and functioning, such as digestion, blood circulation, respiration, body temperature regulation, just everything happening in your body. There are three major components to your metabolism. First is the basal metabolic rate, very commonly called your BMR. And this is the amount of energy that your body uses while you're resting to just keep essential functions going on, such as breathing, brain function, blood circulation. This is the biggest component of your metabolism. Second is physical activity, and this is energy that you burn through movement. So this includes your structured exercise, like the 30 minutes you spend at the gym or at home working out, and just physical activity throughout your day, walking, gestures like moving your hands around and all of that. Physical activity. And the third is the thermic effect of food, TEF, which is essentially the amount of energy that your body uses to break down the food that you consume. We're not going to go deep into all of this. I just need you to understand what makes up your metabolism. So there's certain things that affect your metabolism. One of them is genetics. And some people just naturally have a higher metabolism than others. So you might have noticed someone who, maybe eats absolutely anything and just burns it off, and, it's very hard for them to gain weight. And why do some people have a higher metabolism than others? It's just the way it is. It's like asking why one person is taller than another, or why one person just naturally does better in mathematics than another person. It's just nature. There's absolutely nothing you can do. It's just the hand that each person has been dealt. Another thing that affects your metabolism is muscle mass. That is how much muscle you have in your body, which is why usually men have a easier time burning calories than women do. You might have noticed maybe you started a diet and your partner decided to join you, and he's just like burning up the fat and you have to put in more energy, because muscle mass actually affects that. Another thing is hormones. I don't like to talk about hormones too much because very often in my part of the world, people use it as an excuse. And this is not to say that some people do not have problems with their hormones and that they need help with, but there are a lot of people who don't even know what hormones are, don't know what hormones they have a problem with, but will use that as an excuse. But yes, thyroid and other hormones can affect the speed of metabolism in different people. And lastly, I'd like to talk about age. And this is what we're really going to talk about today. As we start to age, our metabolism can slow down. Is this happening simply because we're getting older, or are there other factors that come into play as we age that then start to affect our metabolism? Let's talk about that. So you might have noticed that as you're getting older, your metabolism is slowing down, and we already talked about what that means for a number of women, right? But what is the truth? Now, a study was published just a few years ago, I think a couple of years ago, and this study looked at 6,000 people from birth to old age. And guess what they found? Your metabolism does not slow down in your 40s and 50s. In fact, your metabolism stays fairly the same, fairly consistent from age 20 to 60. I know, shocker. So what exactly is going on? The major changes that people feel, it's actually not about metabolism, but it is about lifestyle. So think about it. When you were in your 20s, when I was in my 20s, I was in university, right? We walked around more. We might not have had a car, right? So public transportation, walking to classes, going to the market, running errands by ourselves. We moved more. Maybe we were even on a budget and we ate like rationed ramen and noodles and things like that, right? And so we had more activity in our lives. But as we started to get older, a lot of things changed. We move less. We're working more, and we're working more remote jobs or online or with our computers, not physical work. So we're sitting behind the desk maybe 8-9 hours a day. We're now more financially stable, so we've outsourced a lot of things. You might have a driver, you might have a cleaner, you might have a cook. And so all of those physical things, physical activities that we used to do by ourselves, we've outsourced a lot of it. There's someone to do your laundry. And you have kids, so maybe your kids do things too. You're sending them on errands. I mean, think about it. You might be sitting at the dining table and maybe there's something you want to get from the kitchen and your child is there. It's like, you go get me that, right? And so we're moving less. But also, again, because we're working, we have money now, we're a bit more financially stable, maybe we're eating out more. We're not cooking as much of our food, or even if we're still eating homemade foods, we're just experimenting more. Maybe we're going out every Friday and it's just like all the drinks and all the pizza and all of the ice cream. We're able to dine out a bit more, so that starts to tell on the amount of calories we are consuming. So it usually isn't about the metabolism, but changing lifestyle as we are getting older due to not moving around as much, due to being more financially capable, and so exploring things and outsourcing activities, leading to more inactivity in our lives. And yes, you might think, oh, but I exercise. When you actually look at the physical activity component of your metabolism, exercise doesn't actually burn as many calories as physical activity itself. So that 30-minute to 1 hour workout you did, where you thought you burned 500 calories, you didn't even burn nearly as much as that. The activities you do the rest of the day, where you're walking around and you're moving around and you're trying to clock your 7K to 10K steps, those actually add up more than your 30-minute exercise. Am I saying don't exercise? No, I'm saying do both. They're important. So when we don't keep an eye on our exercise, on our physical activity in terms of daily movement, when we don't keep an eye on how much protein we are consuming, do you even know how much protein you need on a daily basis? When we don't keep an eye on our fiber intake and we are constantly just winging these things, it starts to tell on our bodies, because we're not taking the most care of our bodies, and we start to think our metabolism is slowing down, when in fact it is our habit. It is the things that we are doing most of the time that is having an effect on our body, not our metabolism. And this is when it feels like metabolism is broken, but it is not broken, it is just under supported. So what simple things can you start to do to help support your metabolism? Strength training, you knew I was going to say that, right? Strength training, and if you're new to strength training, start 2 to 3 times a week. 2, walk around more throughout your day. Set a timer on your phone. If you have a smartwatch and you get that reminder to get up and walk, actually get up and walk for 5 to 10 minutes. I know you're busy at work, but think about it as a break from all the work you're doing. It will also help to improve or increase your productivity. Walk around in the house. If you can walk to the supermarket, do that. If you can park a distance away from the store you're going to, do that. Use the stairs more. Find ways to move more throughout your day. 3, eat enough protein. Calculate your protein needs and start to focus on hitting that almost every day. If you don't know what your protein needs are, if you don't know how to calculate it, try to aim for about 25 to 30 grams of protein with each meal per day. So that adds up to around 90 grams of protein per day. 4, include fiber in your diet. Eat fruits, eat veggies, eat beans, find rich sources of fiber to include daily. 5, plan your meals, plan your activities. I always say to the people in my program, preparation is half the battle. When you start to plan, it gets easier to tick all of these boxes. Your body isn't failing. It is responding to your environment, and you can change that just by doing simple things. I know I say they're simple, they are, but simple does not mean they're easy. You have to be determined, be disciplined, be consistent to get these things right, and be patient. Please give yourself time to get consistent with these activities. Weight loss over 40 does not require punishment or starvation. It requires clarity, consistency, and making smarter choices. You don't need hacks, you need habits. Your metabolism didn't slow down, you did. But you can pick it back up one decision at a time. And if you need help putting all of this together, following a simple plan, being in a very supportive community of women who are 35 and above, who are also working on getting stronger, getting fitter, then you want to check out my at-home fitness program called Fit, Strong, Thrive. It is a sustainable approach to weight loss, and honestly it is more about your health and feeling strong and fabulous as you age. The links to check out the program will be in the description box. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Have you noticed that your metabolism is slowing down, and did this video make something click like, aha, there's something I can do about it. If you did, let me know in the comments. That's it from today. I will catch you on the next video. Take care.